So starting things out, I do want to change what I've been saying before. I did find out after I made the video from last week's analysis that this show was actually going to have 16 episodes. So it's not a 12 episode run, it's a 16 episode run, which is actually really good because then, hey, more episodes, more content, and more ways to figure this out. But this episode, now on the surface, to those less eagle-eyed than myself, you might think, you know what, this is kind of a cut and dry episode. Our guy starts things out, has a great day, wakes up early, and he's like, you know what? Hey, everyone, I'm up. And then, of course, Zhu's like, yeah, bring me food. So he goes, delivers food to Zhu, and she traps him in an escape room. So, and then that's basically the rest that happened in the episode. Now, cut and dry. But there's a few things that did perk up. It perked me up a little bit in the episode. It's like, this is very interesting. So let's start things out. One, why in the world did she trap him? Honestly, she said her excuse was very weak. Very weak. She gives an excuse of like, you know, I'm a fickle girl. You held a different girl in your arms the other day. Which, of course, when he rescued he picked her up, gave her water and such. Paramedics came, took her, all that. And then they left, everything was fine. But she's giving an excuse like, oh, you know, you didn't do anything wrong, but I just had to. This is your punishment for doing that, and you gotta make it up to me and all this stuff. The weakest excuse I've ever heard. I mean, I guess granted, if you're, I'm gonna say they're girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. If your girlfriend runs an escape room, I guess if you take her off, she's gonna trap you in an escape room. Okay, sure. Maybe one that doesn't have all her brain cells and such. Sure, that could happen. But still, the excuse is very weak. And although this episode was actually really good that we have a proper escape room, it's not like a mental thing. It's not like some weird escape room, someone's trapped and it's life or death. We got like, wow, since pretty much episode 1 and 2, this is like the first proper escape room once again. Is she trying to manipulate him? Yes, because any person that tries to hold dominance over you, especially in a relationship, and their thing is, yeah, I'm gonna throw her in an escape room. Like she straight up asked the dude for food. And he was nice enough to be like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but sure. He gets her food. And then he's like, all right, let me go give her this food, you know, before I go to work. And she traps on an escape room. I would be ticked off because one, if you're starting a relationship and this is like how your relationship starts with a male, female, whomever, run into the hills, because that is not normal at all. So she's trying to leg up on this. But if this is the start of the relationship, she's definitely trying to leg up on him and show dominance. So now, of course, he has to escape before he can do justice against her. So yes, this was not, there's more to it. And maybe we'll learn a little bit more in the next episode after he gets out of the escape room and she tries to feign ignorance or something. But take note of that, eagle-eyed viewers, because that is a weak excuse. Now the stage is when he meets her face to face, what is her expression, her logic behind it? Or does she just downplay it? And we'll see how that goes and how does it play into the big scheme of things. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is basically the show itself. All the way up to this episode, one thing I will say about the show is even though it may be a Chinese anime, and even though, of course, the episodes are shorter, I will have to give this show credit that it takes its time. It goes into detail as far as its conversations and such. There are anime out there that I've seen it, and I'm sure you guys have as well, that its pacing likes to skip stuff to get to the action or get to the next plot device as quickly as possible. So when you have an episode like this that seems like, oh, it's just another escape room type thing, okay? And at surface level, you may think like, oh, this is not a lot happening here. Look into the conversations that they're having. Like, for example, when he came and met with the receptionist and he's talking with her and they're kind of having banter back and forth. It's not trying to skip that conversation. It actually is going into detail with their talking points with each other. And a lot of anime that, you know, a lot of anime that's out nowadays, they would just like, hey, how are you doing? Okay, I'm looking for this person. Oh, they're over here, follow me. Done. Yet here it's like, you know, they were talking more and more. You kind of learn more of the actual characters. There's more character development through our main character, and even this receptionist girl that we haven't seen a lot of, you start to understand her as well. We learn more about the whole, how much money she's making, that they earn more money if you have a better memory. The fact that Zhu screwed him over saying that she would hire him for less money than she's gonna pay the receptionist. You know, little jokes like that. And those little small things add up. And looking back on previous episodes, I started to realize that, yeah, you know, it's the little things that actually happen in the show that actually get me more invested into it. The same holds true with in the actual escape room itself. When Jan is actually in the escape room, he's looking around, deciphering, what should I do? He's trying every little thing. Okay, this is locked, that's locked. Okay, I can't do anything there. Oh, there's a key here. Okay. You know, kind of the mentality you would have in an actual escape room. See what options are in front of you and what you're able to do and what you're not able to do. So it just kind of does slowly go into it. Now, not slow enough to where it's like, oh my God, what am I watching? But actually a good pace to like, there's a globe. There's ridges on it. What does this do? Oh, button. And then it kind of moves on. So, like I said, a lot of other anime probably wouldn't do this justice because they probably would have skipped over a lot of it. But the smallest of things are actually very good in an anime like this because it's also kind of a mystery in it as well. So you're trying to sit here and like, okay, is this important? Is this not important? What does this all mean? Like I said, a lot of other people may not be thinking about this as well as each episode keeps going on, but I want you guys to think about this as you're watching it. You might, like I said, it might be small banter here and there, but it actually works towards a broader aspect and a broader goal in the long run, and lets you appreciate the anime as a whole even more so. And finally, one thing this episode kind of showed is our main character, Mr. Yan. Going to what I was saying previously, as far as those little conversation stuff, we find two things about him. One, he's super relatable. He's like a very relatable character. They don't try to give him supernatural powers. They don't try to say he's above, like all of a sudden he's, you know, got something going on and then something gets shoehorned in that's like, where did that come from? And which goes into number two, that this guy is like of, I would say, above average intelligence. You know, you got the other people that probably are like normal intelligence, but he's kind of above average because he's actually kind of being relatable and thinking of different aspects and little things that happen to him. You see the responses out of him. He's not one note, which of course goes into character development, but he is not one note. He's stuck in his room. He gets mad. He calls. He's like, what in the world's going on? What in the world's going on? He's trying to sit there, decipher things. And then he kind of talks to himself. It's like, oh, that's not going to work. How does that work? A few episodes ago when we saw him, probably mentally, but when they showed him stuck in the room with all the lights, glasses, or whatever, jars in the, where you pull on them and then acid goes everywhere. It showed him cut up, be like, dang it. He's trying to sit there and figure out clues. Like, how is this gonna work? Oh, I don't want to lose my only key and push it all the way in there. It's all those little small conversations with himself that is actually very, very good to relate to this character, because other than his brain injury, which of course it's still kind of barely touched on, we know a little bit about that, you know, the fact that he has that scar and such. He's a regular average guy. He gets up in the morning, man, I have breakfast. Hey, what's everyone else up to? Oh, I'll be kind and give stuff. Man, she'd try to screw me over by not giving me a whole lot of money if I work for her. Dang it, I'm stuck in this place. You know, all these things regular people would feel. And nowadays, Alpha seeing so much isekai, so much fantasy anime, so much stuff that's out there. It's nice to have a character that is kind of centered. Outside stimuli still bothers him. He has feelings towards one thing, like a friend is bothering him. His relationship with Zhu is complicated at best. And then, of course, I'm sure the next few episodes we might learn more of the maybe supernatural stuff in this show. Maybe the fact that people are kind of manipulating him. But regardless, he as a person, character-wise, I think they've done a really good job as far as to show and convey to us who this guy is. He kind of has some smart ideas, but then still like a regular guy just like you and me. But those are the things that I kind of saw in this episode. Let me know what you guys think about it. You know, was this an episode that you kind of just brushed off and was like, okay, whatever? Or is this one that, you know, just like me, you saw a few things here and there? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys are subscribed, because we will definitely break down more of this show, because I really am enjoying it. But this show and several others on this channel, and Lord willing, I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye for now. Make sure to check out the extra content on our Patreon page, and thanks to our current patrons.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.